Hey folks, Ken McArthur here, best-selling author of Impact, How to Get Noticed, Motivate Millions, and Make a Difference in a Noisy World, and also The Impact Factor, How Small Actions Change the World. Both of those you can pick up on Amazon.com if you just do a search for Ken McArthur. And I welcome you to the call tonight. It's going to be a great session today because we're talking to one of my dear friends, a guy who I really respect, and I've always wanted to do things, more things with Bob Yeager. He's an incredible individual, and we're going to be holding a very special online presentation of three of Bob's most powerful profit triggers here, and spending a great time together. I've been trying to talk Bob into coming to a special one-day intensive at the upcoming JV Alert Live in Arlington, which is May the 17th through the 19th. And I'm trying to talk him into doing something special with me on the 16th, which is the Thursday before that. So hopefully we'll be able to persuade him to do that. So if you can encourage people to go out on Facebook and let people know about this, it's going to be an incredible session. And you really want to know about Bob's Profit Ignitors for your business. You can send people to kenmcarthur.com/open. These are our open sessions for the Impact Action team and everybody that's interested in building a mass audience online. Bob's a pretty busy guy with his family, his top-level clients in Pittsburgh, and his own mentoring students. It's never easy to get him to an event, but he does come to JV Alert Live events on the rare times that you'll see Bob speaking out there live with entrepreneurs. So that makes us a special group of people at JV Alert Live. Last time he came, he was in Washington, D.C., really wowed the crowd there, showing off his brilliance and his great ideas. And we got to sit down for a little bit in a closed session, our one-day intensive, and it's always great to be able to pick Bob's brain. So the fact of the matter is, if we don't have a great crowd tonight, it's probably not going to build the energy we need to get Bob to take the drive on down to Arlington. And so we need to get people in here. So if you have any sway whatsoever with your communities right now, and you can send them to kenmcarthur.com open and just say be on the call, that would be great. You can use Twitter, Facebook, or any of your other social media, because you aren't going to get another chance to learn these powerful profit igniters that Bob wants to teach you about. And so now's the opportunity. So welcome to the call, Bob. It is great to have you here.
Hey man, I'm thrilled to be here. I haven't done one of these in what, a year?
I know. It's a special time, and I'm going to just turn this over to you here, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy this time together too. So.
Yeah, I'll probably use you as my guinea pig throughout too, Ken.
Oh, great.
But I want to compel everybody, though, while I'm teaching and everything, I can't see your type chats or anything, but feel free to ask questions and things, and towards the end of the conference, we'll get to any pertinent questions that were asked and everything.
Yeah.
There's a few things I want to share today, Ken. A lot of people don't realize I kind of backed away from the IM scene a lot. Some of my private clients have noticed over the past 2 years. Yeah. And so I want to kind of paint a picture for everybody so they realize why I don't do this too much anymore. I teach my workshops, and that's about it. It's rare if I'll show up at like an IM event or do free webinars and things like that. And it's for a lot of personal reasons. So, last year my mother had 67 strokes,
yeah.
And she's 56 years old. So I privatized my life a lot to help take care of my family and things like that. But there's more of a crucial reason why I kind of stepped away from the entrepreneurial scene as much as I did. And it's not because I don't like it. I love it. That's how I started out online, really teaching entrepreneurs how to navigate through their businesses. I've been doing that for about 2 decades now.
Yeah.
right? And I'm 35, so do the math, folks, right?
Started young.
Yeah, I did. Some of my greatest mentors around the time when I was a teenager was Billy Mays, Chet Holmes, and a lot of other people. And I got to work very close with these guys. They trained me to be a top sales guy, but they mostly trained me how to train people to become leaders and how to teach those leaders to teach other people to become leaders in business and in life in general. And what happened over the past year was some sad stuff. I had, some not so great people run transactions through my business banking account, and I was stuck in high 5 figures of extra taxes for other people's monies, basically. In my neighborhood, I had 2 stalkers because of my online career. I had to get restraining orders against. Another thing was somebody in my local community, a rival SEO company, began to tell my local community that I was an online scammer. And we both know that that's not true. I'd be a lot richer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But mostly what happened over the past year, to me, the IM community almost became like this disease for a lot of people, where they started just consuming so much information that they didn't need to consume, learning just in case, basically, right? And it got to the point where I was just watching age-old friends that I made online becoming broke, losing their homes, getting divorces, not seeing their children, and I just said, I don't want to be part of this.
Right.
I don't want to be part of the problem. So I selected a small group of people that I teach on a regular basis, some of them probably here right now, actually, that really showed me that they were the diamonds in the rough. They were willing to do what I taught them to do, and I have yet to find one of them that hasn't accomplished what they set out to accomplish and more as a result of those things. But through just watching people flounder so much, I just decided to step away from it all for a little bit and only work with people privately. Because, I work with the Hillman Foundation, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pirates, Penguins, right? And a lot of clients, I'm not allowed to even say their name, right? But it's always just a great passion to come back and work with entrepreneurs as much as possible, because I know where everybody is. I know where you've been. I had 8 years of cancer, lost everything, $6.8 million in medical bills, right? And went to 6 university courses, have 4 master's degrees and almost got a PhD. And, when our first child came, we were on welfare. And it was probably the most trying time of my life, just recovering from cancer, having a bunch of knee surgeries, and there's this little baby too. And that's what brought me online. My wife said, why don't you go online and try to find a job, right? Yeah. And something I could do from my bed, basically. And when I came online, I saw websites in a way that, to me it was kind of like, wow, this looks like a billboard, or this looks like direct response marketing, this looks like the mail stuff that I used to do when I was doing the telemarketing stuff, right? Yeah. And I found this group of spiritual entrepreneurs, and I said, I really want to teach these people, and they asked me to teach them sales, and that's how everything started. A week later, I had a radio show online, and we had 150,000 live listeners within the week.
Wow.
Within 2 months of being online, I brought in, personally, in direct sales, no affiliates, no JVs, $3.6 million in sales. I had to give most of it away with taxes and past medical bills and all that stuff. Yeah. But when I came online, I just realized that it's not just about online marketing. I don't care what business you're doing. You have to integrate everything. It has to be offline, online. It has to be open communication. It can't be hiding behind a website. And I was figuring this stuff out the year before the big recession hit in 2008.
Yeah.
Right. So when 2008 came around, there I was still making a generous revenue, and I was just watching all these people kind of lose their livelihoods.
Yep.
And that's when I started teaching IM for people, because they just asked me to teach what I knew, right?
Yeah.
But sales is something that's always come easy for me, Ken. And consulting with businesses, I don't know, I can just look at a business and say, there's where you're losing your profit. That's where you could be making more. That's where you're losing it. Or here's what's missing, right?
Yeah.
And you're like me. I know we're the muse of everybody. Sometimes we can't even see the holes in our own business because we're so busy working on everybody else's, right? And that's kind of like the general, for all the big marketers and business people I've surveyed, the general consensus is they're standing too close to their business.
Yeah.
They're just too close to it. They can't see it with all the noise and everything going around.
Sure.
So, I grew up with all of this. It wasn't like I just fell into it. It wasn't like I came online and all of a sudden, John Reese story, right? It was more, I had everything figured out before I came online. I just had to figure out the technical stuff, and I had a lot of help with that as well, right? But something I refuse to do anymore is sit there and just hit people with, here's the latest traffic strategy, or here's this, or here's that. I've never really done that anyway.
Sure.
If it's not evergreen, I don't want to teach it.
Yep.
If I haven't tested it for years, I don't want to teach it. And if you don't have a real business, I don't want to sit down and teach you. I want you to structure a real business. I want you to know what the vision of your business is going to be, and really be able to just look at the metrics, the math, and say, I know exactly what my business will do for me this year.
Yeah.
And if I just tweak it here, here, and here, I know how much more it'll do for me. All right.
You're talking about a real business.
Yeah. I think I was lucky enough that when I started out, I was in telemarketing, and I had a wholesale company, I had a landscape company, and our family owns and operates cemeteries, right?
Yep.
And so we have this big mason business too. But, I had to figure out, without people teaching me how to run business, and then I had to figure out how to sell my stuff, right? And then I had to figure out how to sustain it and be able to scale it bigger or scale it smaller, whatever life needed at the time, right? So the one thing that I've found over the years is, and this is going to sound odd coming from me because you know how I am with, the value creation of business. Most entrepreneurs are so focused on how much they can do for everybody else. They're not selfish enough. And that's an odd thing, for me to say, right? Because I'm all about.
You're all about giving.
Yeah, I really am. I love working with the charities and the soup kitchens and the orphanages in Pittsburgh and everything. But at the end of the day, every single day you have to make you more valuable. You have to constantly work on making you more valuable. You have to constantly make your business better. In that, as a byproduct, you're creating more for people. And as a byproduct, you're making more profit, right?
Exactly.
So it's really the whole, let's call it the fountainhead, right? Ayn Rand, Fountainhead at Atlas Shrugged. If you guys never read those books, read them.
Yeah.
It's really about you have to make you the best you can possibly be, and good is never good enough. You always have to be better. Not saying you personally. If your relationships are great, great. If your career's great, great. Stick with those things. But always look for things that you're not putting enough focus on, and continuously make you better. And as a byproduct, you will create more value for other people as well. But I want to talk about our relationship first, Ken, so people can kind of get the whole context of why I'm actually doing this webinar with you tonight.
Great.
So here's me and Ken.
He's the good-looking one.
Yeah, and Ken, why is my head so small in this picture? You notice this? Maybe I have a tiny head. I don't know. But I've been rattling my brain for the past couple months because I drove up towards Philly where you were having your one-day meetup, and I drove 6.5 hours through the night, through snow.
Through a snowstorm both ways, right?
Yep, and stayed awake all day until about 10 o'clock at night, and then I drove all the way back home to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we did our one-day intensive, and then we did a networking event at night. So
yeah, and I think a lot of people, when they heard I was doing that, they were saying, "Oh, Bob's going to pitch something when he gets there." I didn't pitch anything.
No.
Just sat and talked and hung out with people, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very, it was liberating to me to get into a room of people where they were just serious about making life better.
Yeah.
And you're always serious about that. So we're going to come down to my CCDFF here.
Okay.
And these 5 things are things that I think that everybody should have going on in their business before I get to your profit igniters. Okay. These 5 things are crucial to any business, online, offline. I don't care what you're doing. And if you don't have them, you're missing out. Okay. The first is contribution. There's my tiny head again in the background there, Ken, right, sitting on your panel there. Yours is the only conferences I've ever sat on an expert panel for. I won't sit on panels. I just never do. And it's only because there's usually so many voices, right? And
lots of opinions.
Yeah, and I'd rather just sit and talk to somebody face-to-face, one-on-one as much as possible. But I think I've done 3 or 4 of your panels so far over since 2008, right?
Yeah.
And it's always an enjoyable experience, even when you guys can't really see him. But just to my left, Frank Sousa's sitting there cracking little jokes, and I was trying really hard to keep a straight face through it, right? So contribution is just a huge thing to me. If you're being the best you can be in business, and you're doing great for you in your business, in your family, like I said, it's a byproduct. You will contribute to others, especially if you're sticking with your standards and your ethics and your morals and your values.
Yeah.
Right. The second one is commitment. I am not sleeping in this picture. Okay.
He was deep in thought. I'm a
Right. This was another, I just got to D.C., I just got to the hotel, and I just drove how many hours, right? 10 hours or whatever, right? But, I saw you in the lobby, and you said, hey, we're having a mastermind, a one-day intensive. Would you like to come in? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not ready for sleep, man. Let's roll, right?
Yeah.
And there's just so many people, Sammy and Phil in the room, and I think who else did we have in there? There was
Chip Cooper and
Chip Cooper, yep.
and
Matt Green and his dad,
right? Yeah.
And what's nice is these are the first time I met these folks, and I've been talking to all of them for the past year since then, right? And not saying, hey, buy this, or hey, do you want to work on this? Just chilling out and talking with people, and I love it. But I just love the value that comes out of just having this private little room where you could just focus on each person's issues, and not have them walk away wondering how they're going to do what you just told them to do, but have them walk away saying, oh my God, I know exactly what to do now.
Exactly right.
And I just love that energy, but it comes from commitment.
Yeah,
right?
you should have seen that whiteboard that we had during that session.
All the way around the room.
It was all the way around the room and in detail.
Yeah, and I don't believe I moved from my seat the whole time. I think I sat there with my feet up, my coffee in my hand, just more listening than anything.
Yeah.
But what I just found amazing about this was everybody in that room, their projects related to one another. And they were so close to it, they couldn't see it, right? And that's when I just started saying to them, I'm like, why aren't you guys working together on something?
Right.
It just makes more sense to me. But the level of commitment, even if you're a solo entrepreneur, and you don't have any JVs, you don't have any tech support, you don't have any outsourcers, any of those things, you still have to be committed to your community. You're part of a community, your industry. And the more that you put out to that community, the more that you make other people aware that you're there, not to pitch, not to sell, not to do all these things, but just to have great conversation and be there with people. The more you have that, the more people are just going to flow to you because they're going to position you as the authority. You don't have to do that. They will do that for you. And that's every business I've ever been in. I never tried to be the authority, right?
Yep.
It's just people put me there because I just focused on what my business generates and what it means to other people. And I just focused on that all the time, but I openly communicate all the time. I always have time for the chat, the Skype chat, the Facebook chat, the telephone call. I probably spend more hours of the day talking to people than anything can, right? Yeah. And I could care less. I could delete my autoresponder today and I'd still be in business tomorrow. I could care less. If I can have open communication by committed people that are committed to themselves more than anything, I know that business will thrive. Next thing is dedication. How many hours, Ken? But not just me. You were there before me. You were there almost at the sun up, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And well after sundown, and you do these things like every month.
Yeah.
I'd go insane if I did that every month. Probably because of all the driving that it takes for me. But the dedication, it's not just about the dedication of us showing up there. It was the dedication of, guys like Barry, who's in the middle there, Ken,
Yeah.
The other people that showed up late at night, they weren't just dedicated to their business, they weren't just dedicated to their industry, they were dedicated to giving any bit of advice, any tip, any strategy they possibly could relay to one another when they were there. And they didn't think about, he might steal my idea. He might try to plagiarize my product. He might try to pirate my stuff. They didn't think about any of those things. It was just an open, everybody was accountable for everybody else. Everybody was dedicated to one another.
Yeah.
And it's rare if I see that unless I'm hanging out with Ken. So,
well, it's true. We have a special flavor of people that come to those events. And
absolutely. And there's the friendships. I since 2008, I mean, that's me. My looks don't change much unless I change my hair, to tell you honestly, Ken. But, you know, what you see is what you get, guys. When I go to the Hillman Foundation or the Steelers Clubhouse to talk about marketing strategies, they'd like to bring me up through the back freight elevator so nobody sees me. So I'll never be the suit and tie guy. I just can't. It's not me. Former martial arts competitor, former, you know, blue-collar worker, still run the cemetery, still cut my grass every day, right?
Yeah.
But I love that I can walk into a room filled with new entrepreneurs, experienced, broke entrepreneurs, millionaire, billionaire entrepreneurs, right? Just this cornucopia of people, and I don't have to be anything else than what I am. And if I come on stage, I do shave if I go on stage for Ken's events, though. But when I come on stage, I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. And I love that, and it's the only community that really gets me. And you know, it's the reason why I come to the JD Alerts and things, which I'm not pitching right now, is because of the friendships that have been built over the years. And I can't find any more real people than at that event, and I've been to a lot of them, right? And finally, fun. Ken knows if he sees me and Audrey Kerwood and Mike Weasley together, there's something going down. Right? But it's really about, it's just, you know, when you get this group of people together, it's just a blast. And because of all this, there's a reason why I'm setting the stage for everybody here. Yeah, I'm going to pitch something at the end of this, Ken. Everybody knows it. I have to. But it's to inspire people. So the reason I showed you guys these 5 things before I start teaching you is because I really want to work more with Ken. I really want to work more with the people that he surrounds himself with. We want to partner on things, and not for the short term either, right, Ken?
right.
Like, we seriously want to get very, very serious. And the reason is I think we both follow that same code of conduct. You know, hey, work smart, get things done, provide value for people, but hey, let's make sure we're in profit too, or we can't do this stuff anymore. If we're always in self-sacrifice mode, we can't do this business anymore, right?
Exactly.
Because it won't be there. You know?
Yeah.
As much as we'd love for it to be a philanthropic thing where we just volunteer our time all the time, we can't do that. But the more serious people we get in front of, the more dedicated people, fun, friendly, committed people that we get in front of, the more we can do this more often. And I like where this side of the industry's gone. There's more and more people that are becoming consciously aware of the fact that there's a lot of crap out there. Not all of it. Most of it's actually really good. And the really, really good stuff, a lot of you will never see because it costs you too much and you think it costs too much. And that's a shame. And there's a part of our industry right now that are just hammering people if they charge $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for something. What they don't realize is because they haven't purchased or invested in those things, that a lot of those people that put their time, heart, and dedication into those products really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And Ken, you know it's rare if I buy IM products or anything, right? But if I see a Dan Kennedy thing coming up, I'm buying it, right?
Yep.
If I saw Frank Kern coming out with another course, I'm buying it. These guys know what they're doing. I don't agree with everything that they all do, but I have to say that when I invest in the things that they teach, I've always made more profit. It's just that most of what they're teaching is so advanced that a lot of people aren't ready for it.
Yeah.
And they figure if they invest a lot of money, they're going to get a lot in return. I want to change that today if we can, Ken. I want to make sure that the investment that people make is so much less than the results they're going to experience over the next year. That's my goal. So we're going to start by giving free lessons, right? And the place where I start everybody is I talk about the 3 units of sales and business. It's in my new book, which isn't a public release. It's for my private students in my camp program. It's called the Blue Collar Sales System. And it's always before, during, and after. Ken, I think I've heard you talk about you have to have a good crowd.
Yeah.
You have to have a good offer. You have to have conversions. Right?
Yeah.
Well, just like those 3 things, in business, whether it's a sales process, a marketing process, whether it's relationships, I don't care what it is, there's before, during, and after. And within that before, during, and after, especially in business, there's a lot of these little profit igniters. And I have 8 of them, but I'm only going to share 3 tonight because we don't have that much time. I can't be on here all night. But in sales, there's only these 3. In sales and business, there's only these 3 units that you have to hone in and perfect continuously. And they contain a select few of those profit igniters that I'm talking about. But when you put them into place, your sales become unstoppable. You can always increase your paycheck anytime you want to. I'm gonna share 3 of the most important ones tonight because I want you guys to actually inject this into your businesses. Even if you're just first starting out, I want you to inject it into your business plan, into your marketing plan, into the vision of your business. All right? But I've had clients, Ken, that have me go through the profit igniters, the big clients, that pay me $35,000 just to show up for a few days.
Yeah.
To map this out for them. So they're really important. But those 3 units, the before process, the during, the after, a lot of business owners and sales professionals implement 1 or 2. Exactly. But it's rare if I've ever seen anybody at first implement all 3. And you have to think about these units and their profit ignition points as what separates successful business owners and salespeople from unemployed until the next sale business owners, right? Mm-hmm. And your folks can give you a type chat. Tell me if there's some yeses. How many of you make a sale and then you don't know where the next sale's coming from within, say, the next few hours, the next few days, the next few weeks?
Gee, I bet that's never happened to anybody.
Right. And
yeah,
I
they're
call that,
pouring in now.
Yeah, and that's been a disease that's been going on since, I worked in the old school sales industry. And I call it unemployed until the next sale.
Yeah.
And in those periods of time, those lulls in between, you don't feel like a business owner, right? You feel like a slave to your own thing. You feel confused and unresourceful. Is anybody agreeing with this? Has anybody felt these feelings before? Just give me a yes.
You got the yes, I agree.
Yeah. So once you can comprehend this kind of outline, and there's not a lot of stuff on these slides, folks. I'm going to say most of it. And Ken, you're recording this. We're hoping to get this out to people if we can, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully it'll become an asset that people can listen to again and again. But once you comprehend this outline, you merely have to implement the process for every sales process, for every advancement you make in your business, for every marketing funnel that you create, for every time you're thinking about a prospecting solution. You just plug this in. Just keep plugging it in, all right? And then you shouldn't have problems with sales anymore. You shouldn't be unemployed until the next sale anymore. And that's really what I want to help you guys with tonight. Within each of the units of business, there's multiple, like I said, multiple profit ignition points. And with that, I want to take you by the hand step by step so you can learn at least the 3 of the most crucial ones that I rarely share unless I'm in my high-end consultant or in the client acquisition mastery program. If I'm in those 2 places, I'm usually driving this stuff home until they're like, Bob, I woke up last night saying profit igniter, in the middle of the night. Right? But you can even just leverage this kind of outline that I'm going to give you to diagnose anything currently that you have going on. You might say, oh, crap, I didn't realize I was missing that, right? So this is where most marketers and sales guys are going to just throw in kind of a disclaimer saying something like, results aren't typical, many will fail. Yeah. I can't say that. Everybody I've taught to implement that actually implemented it, it did something great for their business, for their lives. So I can't be one of those people that say, oh, if I talk about a certain situation, results aren't typical. For my clients, they are. So just take notes as much as you can and actually use this stuff. Every single one of my consultant clients and students have learned this from me and actually implemented it, increased their sales by an average of 500%. Write it down. 500% is a lot. I don't care if you're making $1 a day.
Yeah.
500% is a
Five
lot.
times as much.
Right. So if you just keep in your mind this is a serious thing, and it's not an IM thing, it's an overall global business thing. You know, I'm not the only one that's ever taught this. Socrates was teaching some of this back when he was just teaching people philosophy of life.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not something that's a new tactic or trick or anything. Okay, so there's always this, you know, my clients feel this abnormal rate of growth almost. They're just like, how did this happen and how can I keep it happening, right? And a lot of times they'll actually say, hey, Bob, is there any way we can turn this thing down so we don't get any more clients for a while? So while you're sitting there wondering if any of it's going to work for you, please just realize that it will, okay? And I promise not to pitch you anything until I teach you everything that I wanted to teach. How much time can I have tonight, Ken?
Well, it's up to you, Bob.
Okay.
I'm staying up till about 3 o'clock, and I'm leaving at 3 o'clock for the airport. So
We're not going to be here that long. Okay. The first objection that most people hit me with when I describe this to them is my business is different. I'm a life coach, or I do dog grooming, or I dress show horses.
everybody thinks their business is different, right?
Yeah, and although a lot of business owners like to tell me how different their business is or how unique their product line is, I got news for you guys and them. All businesses are the same. There's only 3 things we really need to focus on. And I've learned it from Ken. I've learned it from people in the past, I mean, over the years, and I've realized it for myself. A market and offer conversions.
Yeah.
Within each of those, there is a before, a during, and after. Okay?
Yeah.
So before, I'm not even getting to the profit igniters, Ken. This is the outline everybody's business should look like. All right? The more we fine-tune things like, the more time we spend looking for a market in our industry that's in need of a solution, the more we're going to find people that want what we have, or we're going to find out what they actually want, which may not be what we have, right? They're looking for solutions. So the more time we just seek out people looking for solutions, the more offers we can make to them, because those offers are the solutions they're looking for. Our conversion rates are going to determine how many leads we acquire and how many sales we make. Simple, all right? So the more we fine-tune our market reach, our offers, and our conversions, the more seamless and profitable our business becomes. It's elementary, right? Business 101 stuff. So if you try to tell me your business is different, I know a lot of people are going to want, yeah, I want to tell this guy so bad, this Bob Yeager guy, you know, my business is different. No, it's not, okay? If you try to tell me that, if you try to compel me to believe that, you haven't done real business yet. Every real business owner knows market, offer, conversions, before, during, after on each part. So now what I want you to think about is a 6-piece process. Just what I've covered so far. Before, during, after, a market, and offer, conversions. Those 6 pieces. Write them down. Before, during, after, market, offer, conversions. Everybody with me so far? Give me a type chat. Yes. Ken, let me know that people are getting me and paying attention. And if there's any of those little yellow triangles with exclamation marks, they're not paying attention.
Uh-oh. Right? Uh-oh. I'm going to start
Yeah,
calling them out now.
Yeah.
They just got really busy.
Okay. So what I want you guys to do is write down a letter A. And underneath that letter A, I want you to write 1, 2, 3. Okay? So 3 lines that say 1, 2, 3. A, 1, 2, 3. We're going to make an outline for your business. You guys just got to follow it. That's all. A is market research and traffic generation. And you guys will notice a trend as I'm going here. A is market research and traffic generation. Number 1 under there is before. Can you guess what number 2 is, Ken?
I'm guessing during.
During. And number 3 is after. Okay? Before, during, and after.
You didn't tell me you were going to test me halfway through this.
I told you were going to be my guinea pig, man. Right?
Uh-oh.
You should know better. You're on a call with me. You think I'm not going to call you out? Really? Okay.
Great.
After number 3, we have B. And letter B is offer, creation, and distribution. Simple, right? I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know yet. Underneath B, 1, 2, 3, guess what they are, folks?
Before, during, and after.
During, and after, yes. Okay. Letter C. Increased conversions consistently and properly. Underline properly. Increase conversions consistently and properly at the lowest price possible. That means investing less time, investing less dollars, being able to do it at the lowest price possible, consistently and properly. Okay? And that's where most of the people are missing the boat, is properly. There's all this stuff out there. Here's how you advertise on Facebook. Here's this fancy new software that'll do this and this. Here's this loophole. Screw it. Find the people that are the best at pay-per-click. Find the people that are the best at Facebook ads, the people that are best at article marketing, the people that are best at blogging, and only pay attention to one of them at a time until you become as good as you need to become.
Right.
And that's the secret to online marketing and business in general. Only pay attention to one strategy at a time and become as good as you need to become. Okay? And under C, there's a 1, 2, 3. What are they?
Before, during, and after?
How about that?
Hey, I've gotten 3 of these right in a row now.
I'm telling you, man, you're on a roll. Right? But here's what I want you guys to look at. You have an outline right here. A, market research and traffic generation. You need to know what comes before you start doing any of this stuff. Planning, right? During, which is actually doing your research and finding your traffic sources and what kind of traffic and what do they like and how do they like to receive it. And the after. And the after for A is actually write a plan that later on you're going to implement to advertise or market to that specific group of people that you researched with the specific information that they are looking for. All right? When you get to B, so you're just mapping, you're planning, you're blueprinting right now. You're not doing anything yet. You guys will love me for this because I'm not going to have you building a bunch of stuff, right? B, offer creation and distribution. Before, well, if we look at our research, right, we know what solutions people are looking for. If we don't have it, we either create it or find somebody else that does that will allow us to promote it for profit.
Yeah.
Right? A clear distribution channel. One of the profit igniters I'm going to talk about has a lot to do with that. So guys, pay attention. Before is looking at all of our research and figuring out the best solutions that people are willing to pay for it and have money for it. All right? What's the point of going into a market if people can't afford what you're selling?
Right.
All right? During would be actually outlining your product or recording your product or seeking out a product line that you can put together from other people's products. Right? So you have multiple offers on an ongoing basis. What John Reese said years ago, he said, make more offers more often. So did Jim Rohn. So did Chet Holmes. So did Billy Mays. And after, create the product and set up your distribution channel or set up the distribution and marketing channel for other people's products. All right?
Yeah.
C, increase conversions consistently and properly at the lowest price possible. Ken, this is what's fun. If most people would do A and B and do the before, during, and after for A and B,
Yeah.
all they have to focus on at this point is traffic and conversions.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to create new offers all the time. You don't have to be racking your brain on what am I going to sell next. You've already figured those things out.
Yeah.
Now it's just send the right people to the right offers.
That's why you'd be focusing on evergreen types of things.
That's it. And that's the thing. Like if I promote other people's stuff, which is really rare, it has to be evergreen. Yeah. I'm not, if I find out it converts really well and I set up an ad campaign, because I do ad campaigns, or I set up a marketing campaign with content marketing, why in God's name would I want to have to start all over again with another thing next month?
Yeah.
If that's converting, I want to keep promoting that. And I will call up that product owner and say, hey, you said you guys are taking this down after launch? Yeah, we were thinking about it. Could you keep it up, please?
Yeah.
And if they won't, I won't even begin to promote it.
Yep.
Won't even begin to. Because if my research shows, my traffic sources show, my metrics show that this is going to be a viable offer for my marketplace, I'm not going to stop promoting that until it stops selling.
Exactly.
Right? So I just want to keep creating these streams of revenue, but I only work on one at a time, and I work on what you said, Ken, evergreen sources of revenue. I don't want to keep reinventing the wheel all the time. Increasing conversions consistently and properly at the lowest price. Before is gathering all your traffic generation resource and figuring out, okay, where can I start at? I can maximize my dollar or my time, where it's going to be quick, efficient, and effective at the lowest price or the lowest amount of time possible, right? So I write that all out. During, well, I create my content, create my ad campaigns. Don't publish them yet, right? I just create everything, get everything ready for split testing, all those things. The after process is simply tweak my ads after I've implemented them, tweak my content, keyword optimize things, talk to people more often, basically increase my conversions consistently and properly, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody, I don't know what level, you know, entrepreneurial business we have on the call, Ken, but guys, give me a type chat. Is anybody learning anything new here, or some of you saying, well, I didn't know this? What do we got?
I think we got a range of people. Let's see. Good stuff, says Joy Porter.
There's Joy. She's in camp, Ken.
Joy is great. Joy is an implementer. Dwan says it's structured well.
All right, cool.
Dwan Sullivan's here tonight.
I love analytical people. They get me. So I think what I want to do is for each one of these, the before, during, and after, I want to give you a profit igniter for each one. Okay? So when you think about these before, durings, and afters, I want you to think about where they fit into this outline that I just gave you. All right? So that's for you to figure out. And the reason I do that is because here's the biggest cause for the entrepreneurial disease and the IM disease, Ken. People haven't learned to become resourceful. Okay? It's not about the resources that you have or the resources that you can get access to. It's about your resourcefulness. It's about being able to inject things in the proper place by seeing the writing on the wall, right?
Yep.
It's about being able to find those resources. Resourcefulness is one really neglected skill set that entrepreneurs face. And if they just put more time on being able to find solutions instead of asking for the answers all the time, creating their own solutions. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. If you create a solution that works for you, great. Roll with it, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a before profit igniter, a during, and an after. And it's up to you to inject it into your model that I just gave you here. Okay?
Great.
So there's 8 profit igniters altogether. I can share 3 tonight. That's what we have time for. I'm already at, what, 45 minutes here almost, right?
Yeah.
There's the before, I have a few for before, but number 2 in the before process is use direct response offers to compel your prospects to contact you, to have them seek you out, okay? In the during, I'm going to share with you, present your service or offer in a way that makes it easy to get started. Remember I said earlier we were going to focus on distribution, right? Well, if it's not easy for your customers to get access to your stuff or to start the sales process or to pay for things, for all you people that like to do all these damn webinars and then after the webinar's over you make people listen to the whole thing again before they can go pay for what you were selling, stop it. If they were there, let them go buy, right? Let them purchase. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the after profit igniters that I'm going to share is engineering a referral system that will have clients feeling kind of devilishly selfish and happy. Okay? And you'll understand why that's important once I go through this. So the first one I'm going to share, this is, you know, if people read any sales book out there, marketing book out there from the good guys, I mean from the really top-notch in the industry, you guys will see these throughout all these different books, said in different ways, right, laid out in a different format. But all in all, everybody's talking about it. All the guys that are doing real business are talking about it. Create and use direct response offers to compel prospects to call you, to contact you. When I was an independent sales rep in telecommunication services industry, I first had to define this profit igniter. Now, that was 18 years ago, but I continue to follow that same model today for business. Every sales process and service that I'm marketing, this profit igniter is that effective. All right. Now, back then, I was offering business phone and internet installations to call centers in the magazine subscription and service industry. Okay. Now, we housed over 600 call center reps. So you can see how much it meant to us to sell these phone services to call centers like ours, right? Any given installation usually sold 900 units installed in one location. So the commission was enough for me to live off of for 1 year from one sale. Not to mention there was residuals, all right?
Yeah.
So I had to identify my narrow focus and my narrow service. And that's a direct response offer that compels people to call you. Narrow focus, narrow service. Now, we were really quick, we were effective, we were easy to work with, and our clients never complained. Okay? And it had to do with another one of our profit igniters. But it all started with this. I didn't just like wake up one morning and have people ringing my phone off the hook, right? I was in telesales. Has anybody ever been a telemarketer? Where they throw a big list at you and say, start calling, right?
Yep.
I didn't agree with that system. It didn't make any sense to me. So I had to create and use direct response offers to compel people to call me. So I wasn't spending all day dialing. I was spending all day selling.
Yeah.
And by the point that I got this really honed, I was just setting appointments. Basically, people called and said, can I pay with American Express? Yes. When can we set the appointment? Next week at this time. It was like I was a secretary at this point, right? Now, in those days, and even today, a lot of service providers, consultants, sales professionals still think cold calling people is going to land them business. And it gets worse today because more and more professionals are just sending out emails or posts on Facebook or blog posts and direct mail pieces that just pitch an offer. And it's because they're unemployed until the next sale.
Yep.
They need the cash, right? And we've all been there. I mean, even today, we all have our ups and downs in businesses. You can, me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many weeks did I spend in court with the IRS this year because other people taking transactions through my bank account? Right?
Yeah.
We all have our ups and downs, folks. All right. But when I wanted clients back then or now, I just create the most compelling direct response offer that made people take immediate action and have them ring my phone. And from there, I was able to cherry pick the best clients, and I could sell off the rest to other sales guys. That was a nice situation to be in. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So now what I'm going to do is kind of give you guys a solid example on something that will relate to all of you. How many of you want to do webinars like this one, where you actually teach something, you give people good information, and then you sell something? I'm going to give you the best converting direct response offer in webinars that I've ever created. All right, Ken, you know I've been doing webinars since before a lot of people were doing them, right?
Yep.
So
We got people that want it. Even Phil Bastion wants it.
Phil Bastion. Okay. This is an automated process that you just run advertising through and traffic sources to, and just let the system work for you. The only thing you should be doing is answering the phone or taking orders, answering emails or taking orders. Wouldn't it be nice just to answer emails all day just to make sales or just watch sales come in all day? This is the kind of thing that does that. So to lay out just kind of this profit igniter, you have to realize that, and I want you guys to write this down, you have to enter the conversation that's already going on in their heads and your prospects' heads. Okay? And that's not a difficult place to be at. I think I can just kind of like say, of all the people that are in this room right now, which is a nice group, and all the experience levels, which you mentioned some names, and I know these different, well, you're right, there's a range in here.
Yeah.
It never seems like you have enough, whether it be leads, sales, traffic, income in the bank, time, right?
Yeah.
So I can actually talk about the things that I know that you're already having a conversation about in your head. Anybody disagree with me? Go ahead. Try it. All right?
I could always open up the line and have them argue with you.
Now, the reason I know I'm entering the conversation going on in everybody's heads that I talk to is because I service business owners who want to make more sales. Well, That's all business owners, right?
Yeah.
So that's where my focus is going to be in this example I'm going to give you. And those of you that are in my camp program have already read this, and you know I drill this and hammer it as much as possible, right? If you're in a different industry than sales, service, IM, all this stuff, you can change this to suit your needs. It doesn't matter. It works. I used to use this on fax back forms to get people onto a teleconference, Ken.
Yeah.
All right? Now I'm using it for webinars. So basically, the pre-headline says attention, all caps underlined. Attention, CNC suppliers. What I'm doing is I'm selling services to CNC machinists, tooling companies, because I work in that industry a lot, the robotics industry, right? My headline is free recorded webinar. Notice I was totally transparent about the fact that it's recorded, Ken. I didn't try to pretend that it was live, even though I make it look like it's live with an evergreen system, right? Mm-hmm. Free recorded webinar reveals how to double, even triple your sales properly at the lowest possible price. Does that sound familiar at all?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, I'll say it again for everybody. Attention, CNC suppliers. Pre-recorded webinar reveals how to double, even triple your sales properly at the lowest possible price. Now I'm going to stop there and explain that. My prospective clients want to implement proper systems that will increase sales. Okay. Attention, dog groomers. Free recorded webinar reveals how to double, even triple your clientele properly at the lowest possible price.
Yeah. Do you see a pattern here?
Right. They don't want to spend more than's necessary. They want to increase sales. They want to implement a proper system because they don't want to have to redo the work later on. Okay? At the same time, I provide these types of services and show them the proper way to do it. Although I'm not the cheapest, they can implement the system at the lowest possible price because I show them how. So what do you guys think I sell at the end of this webinar? Either A, my company doing it, or B, me writing their strategy for them so they can go do it, right? So I'm not saying I'm going to show you this whole thing for free. What am I saying in my headline? At the lowest possible price. Just think, free recorded webinar reveals how to, and go to the last line, at the lowest possible price.
Yep.
So you overcome the objection of the pitch. You're focused on exactly what they need because you're using the power words, double, even triple, properly, lowest possible price, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't notice, like I said, I'm focusing on these CNC suppliers in this offer, not machinists, not machine tool suppliers, specifically CNC suppliers. It's a specific type of machine, okay? Narrowed my focus, select one target market and one skill to master. I'm just going to show them how to increase their sales. I'm only focused on the CNC suppliers, right?
Perfect.
Yep. So, and I'm going to master that. I have already in that industry. So a supply company would generally want to implement a proper sales system at the lowest cost to double or even triple their sales, right?
Yeah.
Everybody? So here I'm engaging with what's already in their mind, the conversation that's already there. I'm not trying to convince them to do something, choosing to show them how to do something that's already on their mind, especially in today's economy, right?
All right.
The big mistake most product creators, service providers, coaches, sales professionals are making today, they're using advertising and marketing that's about them instead of about the conversation that's in their market's mind.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Okay? So as professionals, service providers, whatever it is that you do, our marketing should never focus on us. Rather, it should always focus on the people that we're engaging with, what they're already thinking about, what they're already looking for. Even if you don't want to sell that to them, it doesn't matter what you want to sell to them. It matters what they are willing to pay for, right? I have this line, Ken, and everybody can write it down. Post it on your wall. Make a big poster out of it. Sell them what they want and give them what they need.
Yeah.
If you need to give a solution that you know everybody needs, but nobody's looking for it, sell them what they want, and as a bonus, give them what they need. Simple, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. So I want to make a note for internet marketers that are using evergreen webinars to market to other info product buyers.
So
In the IM industry, let me give you guys a tip. Unless you're selling software or a very high-end service, do them live. People appreciate that. I'm just saying that now just because
Hey,
the
Bob.
IM community's becoming blind to the evergreen webinar, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
What's up, Ken?
I just wanted to say, why don't you explain for people that may be just starting out, because I think we have some people that are just starting out, exactly what we mean by evergreen webinar.
Evergreen webinars are simply a webinar that is strategically scripted, very well thought out, pre-recorded, that you broadcast to people. They opt in to get access to that webinar recording, and there's systems like, Mike Filsame's Evergreen Business System, quite a few others now, that allow us to make it look like it's a live webinar. So there's a window with the, like you're seeing now, there's a little type chat on the side. You'll see names populate. Looks really good. The problem is most marketers try to trick people into thinking it's a live event. And in a lot of industries that works, and we're kind of, privy
We're
to the whole
jaded.
thing. Yeah. I have to admit, the first times I ever saw them, which nobody else had access to the software, just a few people, I was just like, how, oh my God, this is recorded. How are they doing this? This is the same exact presentation I watched the other night.
Yeah,
Verbatim. How did they do this? And so we put out these rolling webinars, and usually it's because we found out it converted well.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I've recorded over 3,500 webinars since 2005.
What'd you do in your spare time?
Yeah, right. Well, that's how I usually did my selling, was through webinars back then.
Yeah.
And but a lot of those were paid workshops. They weren't just free webinars. A lot of them people paid to come to those events and things, right?
Exactly.
But what it came down to was I found out the same thing a lot of people found out. Hey, why keep saying the same stuff over and over and over and over again? If it worked this time, just use the same thing. But like I said, in the IM community, there's something left to be desired about the live interaction, the type chatting, and getting people to engage live.
Yeah.
It's really important, and I don't think enough people are seeing that right now. So let me, before I drag this on anymore, I know you guys are loving it, right? Profit Igniter number 2. This is in your during process, okay? Like I said, inject it where it belongs. You'll figure that out if you're looking at your outline, all right? This is the first Profit Igniter in my during processes. Present your service or offer in a way that makes it easy for the client or customer to get started, okay?
Yeah.
At this point, if you've injected kind of this outline I've given you guys, if you get to this point here where you're actually actively marketing, you've created a direct response offer that would compel people to get to you, you should be spending most of your time taking orders, or setting up calls, or setting up appointments. That's what your day would look like, all right? Making direct contact with people. And it's easy because people are just like, I really need what you got, so can I have it?
Yeah.
I can't, in the time that we got, tell you how to structure your free webinar, your free call, or your offer or anything. That's for you to decide, depending on your business. I can say that your free call, your webinar, your marketing material should be compelling people to inquire for more information about your services. You could send them to a pre-programmed offer where they make the initial purchase directly, and after that, call them or sell them a higher-end service, whatever you want to do. But what we need to be focused on in this whole outline I give you is a prospecting system, something that's consistently sending people to you that would desire your offers, right? You don't want to be there all the time doing that stuff. It's a lot of work. So in our during unit of sales and business, we have to basically motivate people to move forward. Whenever our business needs it, whatever it is our business does, we have to consistently motivate people to move forward. If we make that process easy for them, they will be compelled to move forward. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Okay. I don't just go through kind of like a strategy and say, I think I'll inject this here. It literally, it always follows that same flow. Figure out all these things I need to do. These profit igniters I'm giving you guys tonight is for your marketing and your sales. It's not for your business structure. It's not for the partners that you have. It's not during the marketing research. The outline covers that. But these profit igniters are specifically for what? What are they called? Profit igniters, right?
Yeah, specifically for profit.
Yeah, that's what I like to focus on, folks. So you can apply them basically to your own business audit. You basically look at that outline that I gave you guys. Look at your own business and audit your business and say, is this here? Does this exist? Does this exist? And anything that's missing, guess what you do? Fill the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple, right? Standard business practice. What's not standard is the way that we're approaching the situation. We're injecting these profit igniters into our model of working with clients or selling, basically just applying a methodology that gets people to want to take action with us. So I think it's, you guys know when you buy stuff how you like to receive things. If you're attracting a market like most business owners will that is much like them, much like you, then you should already know how you like to receive things, right? If you're communicating to a market that will resonate with you, then you should already know how they want to get started, how they want to pay, what kind of process they want to go through, right? Does anybody want to jump through hoops when you buy something?
No. Not generally.
Right? I love when people say, I hate upsells and downsells. No, you don't. You just buy them. You're mad at yourself for buying them. You like it when the upsell's a good offer. You like it when the downsell's a good offer. I know you do because I do. We're entrepreneurs. We buy stuff. We like a sales process that's seamless, but we like to get solutions very quickly, very rapidly.
Yeah.
And we want them delivered in a timely manner, and we want to get what we paid for, right? Figure out if your industry likes membership systems, if they like physical products, if they like digital products, whatever it may be. Find out not only what type of product, but how they like it delivered. If it's digital, is it a PDF? Is it audios? Is it videos? Is it through one-on-one calls, group sessions? If you have group sessions, do they need those calls to be recorded? I say record them anyway. Record everything.
Yeah.
Mitch Axelrod says the same thing, right? Record everything. You never know what's going to be an asset someday for you, all right? So when you present your service or offer, make sure it's kind of like they know what to expect. And I'll give you guys an example. Later on, I'm going to make an offer to you guys, and I'm going to tell you this. Go to this particular page, and it's just going to be an outline of the offer. No long sales jargon, no big video, no bunch of graphics, just simple, boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, here's what you get. You click on the button. When you pay, you click Return to Robert Yeager. You fill out the webinar registration form. That's what you should expect to see through the sales process. It's very quick. You'll know exactly when everything will start. You'll know exactly how you will receive everything because I let you know.
Yeah.
We need to start doing that in our sales process. Instead of surprising people what's on the other side, unless you're doing your one-time offers and things, let them know what's on the other side of your sales process. Okay, if I click this button, what happens next? Once I'm done there, what happens next? How do I get to where I need to be? Right?
Right.
Make it easy. Make it very simple for them to get started. And when I say get started, I'm really talking about those first-time customers. If their first buying experience with you is quick, simple, straight to the point, they get exactly what they paid for, do you think they're going to buy from you again in the future?
Absolutely.
Yes. So here's where you need to think about, okay, they might buy my little $17 ebook. All right. But they also might buy $5,000 or $10,000 worth of products from you in the next 5 years. Don't you want the first time they purchase from you to be the best experience of their life? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So with that, that's an easy one to talk about, really. The after profit igniter I want to talk to you guys about. I love this part. Engineering referrals while having clients feel devilishly selfish and happy. Mm-hmm. I got to spin my copywriting skills on that one, right?
I like that.
So I've heard a few people over the years talk about this, about orchestrating a referral process by giving clients an opportunity to feel great about themselves. When clients refer business to you, when other customers refer business to you, do you think, I want everybody to type chat on this, do you think it's because they really love you a lot and they want you to have the business, or they really love the other people that they're referring to you a lot and they really want them to have the solution, do you think that's why they refer people to you? Yes or no?
They're wondering if that's a trick question.
It is.
Phil says no.
Okay. Yes. They don't do it because it makes everybody else feel good. They do it because it makes them feel good. They helped a friend, a family member, whoever it may be, somebody in their community, find a solution, and they feel like the big shot because they knew where that solution was. They helped you make more money. They feel like the big shot because they sent you new business. Now you two are working together. They feel great because they helped you and the other person get together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
I'm okay with that. And you know what? They're right. When I refer somebody to somebody else, I'm like, not only did I help somebody solve a problem today, but I helped somebody else make a profit today.
Exactly.
Right? And sometimes I made a profit too. Right?
Even better.
Right. So orchestrating this referral system is really about having three things happen. You write it down. It's the secret to the whole thing, okay? If there even was a secret. Number one, they have to notice that a conversation that they are having is about something related to your business. Okay? When people are done with a transaction with you, or their service is over with you, they may work with you in the future, they may think of you when they need you, but do you think they're thinking about you all the time?
Probably not.
Not unless you're me. And I'll tell you guys some ways that I do this, okay? Number two, they have to think about you specifically, not just your business, not just your products, but you, okay? And they have to introduce you into the conversation. Those three things have to happen, okay? Referrals happen as a result of conversation. No referral can happen until two or more people are in a conversation with one another.
Right.
So your clients are in a conversation all the time that's related to your business. Guarantee it. Your customers are in a conversation all the time that's related to your business. How do I know that? They're actively seeking and buying solutions that you provide. Right?
Right.
Funny thing is, in the business I'm in, where I charge, $35,000 to $150,000 to sit down and write out people's strategies and train their teams and things, right? I know that the next 5 or 6 people they speak to, they're going to be bragging about it. They're going to be bragging about the solution they just invested in. The next 5 or 6 people they talk to will be in the same type of business as them or similar.
Yep.
Okay? If I'm not a thought in their mind, that the next 5 or 6 could come over weeks. If I'm not a thought of their mind, if they don't notice the conversation is about something related to me and my business, if they don't have a way to introduce me into the conversation, do you really think they're going to jump through hoops to make a referral?
Probably not.
No. So we still even have to make this process easy for them, right?
Yeah.
So I want to help you visualize it a little bit, what it could look like. It doesn't have to turn out exactly this way. I'm just using an example, just a scenario, so you can see what I do to make things work, all right? I have a client who is just getting into web broadcasting for his company, okay? They're starting an entire department doing podcasts, video broadcasts, Google Hangouts, webinars, and a lot more when it comes down to online broadcasting. Literally, they're creating a global broadcasting network to market their services and to consult with other branches of their business, conferences with their other companies, okay?
Yep.
Now, it's a really smart business model. I know this because it's the way I started online, right? I had a social broadcasting network. It's allowed them to cut costs on traveling to train their teams while having the owner of the customer have the owner build long-lasting relationships with his long-distance employees. All right? So smart business model. Saved them a lot of money, which they use for more advertising, which they gain more revenue, which they were able to give their employees more bonuses, right, for performance. Now, this was a big contract, folks. This was a high six figures contract, and it took me nearly 3 months just to train them. Wears you out. 3 months, 3 hours a month. Whew, I'm tired, right?
Yeah.
But when the transaction was complete, I knew the relationship wasn't over, so I moved on to the service after the sale. That's another profit igniter I'll talk about. I sent my client and all of his top managers and trainers really nice HD webcams, Yeti microphones with a boom stand,
Yeah.
and really nice Dr. Dre headphones, right? I wanted them to have superb broadcasting quality. I wanted them to feel good.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I wanted them to always, while they're in business conversation, to be using gifts that I gave them. Okay? So with that package, I sent them microphone filters. It wraps around the back of the mic. Okay? And it attaches to the boom stand. It surrounds the back of the microphone so there's no feedback or echo coming through the microphone. And I've trained them to use these filters, right?
Yeah.
Gives them great audio recordings. Under that microphone, attached to that filter, is this little tray that comes out where they can put a event calendar. It has all their schedule and everything right in front of them, so while they're doing their online meetings, they know what's coming next, right? The calendar is actually designed so the speaker can see when and who the next training is with. But also, across the top of the calendar, it says, if you come across a client or peer in need of Bob Yeager's consulting, please have them go to this website.
Sitting right in front of them.
Every time they're having a conversation about what I do, right?
Yeah.
So they're always reminded about me. I'm telling my client exactly how to refer people to me. And it's right where he spends all of his time having all of his business conversations with the people who will qualify as my clients.
Yeah.
Okay? When he's doing his meetings, trainings, and talking to people, talking business, he's using the headphones, the microphone, the filter, the boom stand, everything that I gave him that reminds him. So even if he's not looking at his calendar, he's constantly reminded about me, right? Somebody says, wow, you have great sound quality. How are you doing that? Well, you know what? My consultant sent me this really awesome microphone setup, right? When he's looking at his schedule for his next calls and training, he's looking at the calendar with instructions on how to refer people to me. He's reminded of me.
Yeah.
When he listens to his call playbacks and has his meetings with his team, he's constantly reminded of me. The experience of me extends throughout his entire business and communication each and every turn, right? So it's just about making sure that people feel great. But notice I said devilishly selfish, right? They want to feel devilishly selfish. Here's how it works. When he refers someone to me, getting back to this profit igniter, he feels great, right? He feels great because his clients are doing well working with me. He feels great because I have a new client that he referred to me. And both the clients and I appreciate him for it. Very selfish, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't care. That's great. I'm glad that he feels great.
Yeah.
His customer's glad that he feels great too. And I feel great because the bank account's grown. And I'm working with great people, right?
Exactly.
The money-making idea here in this final igniter is to be aware of what all those high-probability conversations are and make sure your clients know exactly what to do to introduce you into the conversation, okay? Make sure they're always thinking about you, the experience you had together. While they're in conversations with others, I want them to feel, know exactly who would benefit for some type of experience with me, to have that same type of experience they had with me, right? It's not difficult to do, folks. It's basically give people gifts that remind them of you. It could be an ebook, it could be a software. I don't care what business you're in, you can do this. But it has to be something useful that they would use on a regular basis that would also remind them of you while they're having conversations with other people about what you do.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Perfect.
All right. Now, what are we doing, Ken? I said the build-up, right? I work in our camp program. You know, I teach sales training, right? Client acquisition training. And I don't get to really dig in as much as I'd like to with everybody's business. You know, being able to take this outline, all 8 profit igniters, and help them strategize this. All right.
Yeah.
So me and Ken were sitting around yesterday, right? And I said, we need to do something together. And Ken's like, I want you to come down to Arlington. I'm like, yeah. Ken knows me. I'm just kind of like, I don't really speak at the events anymore or anything. But I said, what if we could do a full day of live interaction before your JV Alert live, the day before, right? Yeah. 20, 25 people. We literally dig and dive right into each and every single one of their businesses and help them outline this to the T, to the letter, customized to them. Along with the disease in IM is this big problem of people think that every course out there will fit their needs. No, it will not unless you customize it to you. But those courses don't teach you how to customize it to you. That's the problem, right? So what we'd like to do is me and Cam want to sit down with you guys and actually help you customize everything I talked about tonight to exactly what you're doing, to your specific business. So there's no guesswork. You literally have this blueprint that says, I need to do this, then this, then this, then this, then this, and this, and this. There's no guesswork, right?
Yep.
Also, even if you've already bought a ticket, we'll talk about that in a minute, free pass to the whole JV Alert Live JV Alert Live conference, the main conference, right? Yeah. Even if you've already bought a ticket, we'll give you a way to get a discount on that, right? But fun. If we're going to spend a day, Ken, talking to people about their business, helping them outline it, helping them strategize it, then I want what I give the rest of my clients. I want 12 weeks of making sure that they're clear and they're concise and they have every strategy they could possibly need to implement along with that outline. All right? So what me and Ken decided to do is have 12 extended weeks of online group mentoring. Me and Ken and the people that sign up for this. And we're going to make sure that you guys are going through this action plan, that you're following the steps, and if any questions arise, we'll be there to answer those for you. All right? But at the end of 12 weeks, Ken, I want to do something really special. I don't get the chance to do this too much. Each and every person that's enrolled, I'm going to schedule a one-on-one, 2-hour call with me, and we're going to make sure that you have the strategy that will take your business to the next level from there. No extra charge. Okay?
That's amazing.
So you know how I am. I mean, last year I tried to do something tricky with my my sale where I was trying to give people, you know, a great deal when they couldn't see it, right?
Yeah.
Go figure. Folks, these prices aren't overhyped. For me to spend a day with anybody talking about their business, especially 20 to 25 people, I charge $2,000 for the day.
Yeah.
A pass to JV Alert, early bird is $127. If you wait until the early bird's over, it's $497, right?
Yeah.
12 weeks of coaching, Ken, you know with me, it's going to be between $2,500 to $5,000. So I was fair about it, said it's me and you, so it's about $5,000, right?
Yeah.
An extra one-on-one call with me for 2 hours, I charge no less than $1,000 for that because I can only handle so many calls. So for every hour that's taken out of my day, I'm losing profit, right? Or time with my kids, which I'd rather have, all right? So if we look at this, what we got? 6, 7, 8, about $8,500 worth of value, I think, right? Now, there's a stipulation. I'm not going to allow people to enroll in the offer. Okay? Now, I want to explain this. I'll be doing, if I come to Arlington, Ken, circle the word if Bob comes to Arlington. Okay? If, right?
Yep.
I'll be doing a presentation much like what you guys saw. So for the regular JV Alert Alive conference, and Ken has me up on stage, a lot of you guys are going to see this same exact type of presentation. Not for the one-day intensive, just for when I'm speaking on stage, because I got to sell stuff, right?
Yep.
The price for this same training without the live one-day intensive with me, without the extra phone time with me, so it's just the 12 weeks with me and Ken, it's going to be $2,000, okay? People that are on this call are either here because I invited them, because you're part of the Impact Inner Circle, you would like to be, or you just really needed to know how to get your business working properly. And we really love that. So I want to give you guys a kind of a scholarship discount, all right? You'll get everything that we talked about for $12.97. But here's the but, Ken. You ready?
Yep.
I'm only accepting 20 people. It's just we can't spend the time needed with more than that, right? It wouldn't work for a one-day intensive. So we need to be able to help each and every person individually during that day. And that day ain't ending until we're done, right, Ken?
Right.
We want to communicate effectively, powerfully orchestrated strategies so you can walk away that day. Even though we're going to meet up the next week online, we want you to be able to start implementing that. I mean, finally, we want somebody to be able to come home from a conference and say, I know exactly the exact plan I need to do right now to actually turn great profit in my business. I have a map. Now I just need to follow it. That's what we want to have happen. But if I can't see 3 to 5 people right now, Ken, saying that they're interested, I won't even show them the enrollment link. That's my terms.
Gotcha.
So if there's between 3 to 5 people that are interested right now, type chat it, yes or no. Okay? It's not about price. It's not about, being able to pay tonight. It's about, are you interested? I won't even show you the link if you're not interested. What do we got, Ken?
I got an interested.
Okay. I'm seeing some private type chats over here too. All right.
They're doing the, yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. No fancy sales page, guys. Here's the link. It's right in front of your screen right now. letsgetauthority.com/powerprofit.html. There's no fancy sales copy. There's no fancy video. There's no fancy graphics. It's just an outline of the offer. You guys enroll. As soon as you're done going through the payment process, we're using PayPal for it, easy for everybody, right? Make sure you click Return to Robert Yeager and fill out the registration form. That'll put you on the list because here's the big surprise. You ready, Ken?
Okay.
I'm calling everybody that signs up within the next week. We're going to sit on the phone within the next week, and we're going to start your training early.
Ah.
Okay? I really want to know everybody. I'm not going to sell you more stuff through this training. Over the 12 weeks, I'm not going to sell you more stuff, folks. Neither is Ken. We just want to help you guys become profitable. That's all. I think the both of us kind of got worn out over the past couple years just seeing people flounder around.
Yeah.
We want to make a training available to everybody that's customized to them for their specific business needs, even if you don't know what your business is going to be yet. We can help you strategize that. We've done it a lot, right? So there's the link. Go there. And for those of you that would like, we're going to stop the recordings, Ken. All right?
Okay.
So if you'd like to sign off before you stop the recordings, don't go anywhere, folks.